I'm Wesley Morris, and we got to talk about heated rivalry.
Ilya Rozanov? Shane Hollander, I wanted to introduce myself.
I have watched it. I have watched it because so many women in my life have told me to watch it because the popularity of this show is being driven by women. In my experience, straight women who have fallen in love with this show. Initially, I started watching this show through the eyes of these women, and then I don't know, partway through episode 1, this very curious thing happened where I was like, wait a minute, this show is actually more than what I thought it was going to be. And by like episode 3, I had a thought that kind of blew my mind, which is part of what I think is driving the popularity of this show is it's a fantasy of male sensitivity. Like I showed up for the sex, I guess, like some people, because I was curious about how that worked. I heard people complaining about the sex. I don't know. Everything these guys are doing happens. This is what we do, people. But what you don't see us do in very many places in mass popular culture is talk about our feelings. Gay men, closeted gay men who, you just don't experience it. So part of the romance is just the talking. This is a show that's not about hockey. It's not about sex. It's about communication and how people talk to each other. And like a really good example of this communication thing that has like really blown my mind happens, I think, in episode 3. Now, I just want to say plot-wise, this is a show about a guy named Shane and a guy named Ilya. They play on rival teams. They start having this relationship, but then the show makes this very interesting decision to have a B-plot involving a different hockey player who falls in love with a barista. He's a smoothista at the drink shop, at the smoothie shop.
When I make it for myself in the morning, I add a banana.
Oh, so you're kind of wild.
Scott Hunter is the hockey player who plays for like a fake New York Rangers team. He picks up this kid. I'm calling him a kid. He's probably like 30 years old. And they spend a little bit of time with each other, and they wind up in a morning after situation in Scott's kitchen.
So I should probably go.
At his giant island in his weird brochure-like mega apartment. And he's like, yo, I need to talk to you.
I'm going to say a bunch of things, okay? And I know I'm too intense. Everyone tells me that, but I can't help it.
He's like, I'm really intense.
Is it okay? Can I be too intense?
Yeah.
But I gotta say what's in my heart.
I really, really like you. So I'm asking for what I want.
And I gotta go for what I want.
I want you to be here when I get back from practice later. And I want you to be here when I come home from my game tonight.
It would be really great if you could be here. It would make me happy.
Is that too much?
Is it okay to say that? Everything on this show, by the way, and part of, I think, what some people love about it is it's all about, can I do this? Is it okay if I do this? Did that make you feel okay? Can I do this again? Would you mind if we switched? Everything is consensual, mutual, but not in like a lawyer is sitting on the other side of the camera making these guys say this. It is true compassion, and it is true communication. Kip's like, huh? He walks around the kitchen island, takes a seat. Because at this point, poor Scott is like, this guy is going to walk out on me. It's going to break my heart and ruin my season. But instead, he sits down next to him and says,
I think I'd love to be here when you get back.
I'm in. I'm going to be here when you come home for practice. What? That is such a romantic thing to happen. And I want to say that part of what we're witnessing is something that feels scarce in this moment. It feels extremely risky to hear men say what they feel in their hearts to each other. And for the person receiving this information to actually absorb and respond in kind. And I mean, you look beyond your television set and you can see that men are not saying things like this to each other. They are talking about how much they hate each other, how much they want to destroy each other, how much they want to expel, expunge, excommunicate, in prison. And here's a little enclosed universe in which men speak their hearts because they have hearts. These men have big, old hearts, and they are beating really hard for each other. And it's moving. And I feel like we need that in some way. We need proof that it is possible, even in a work of fiction. That is what art does. It is showing us what is possible for humanity. And I know I feel a little absurd even putting it that way, but I mean it. I really mean it. This show is such a framework for how men can talk to each other, whether they want to sleep with each other or not. I think that I just rarely see works of popular culture where the entire point of what the men are doing with each other is baring their souls, taking the risk, and hoping that the other person receives their hand when they put it out. I think that's the special thing about this show, which is that it understands that you might have come for the sex, but you were staying for the relationship.